Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a squat and deadlift day. Workout was pretty good today. I'm not nauseated now while doing the squats. They're still fatiguing, but we're getting used to these higher rep squats. I feel like the diet's getting a little better. Kind of learning what I can and can't eat before I squat in the mornings. And one of the things I'm noticing, I just need to keep stomach volume pretty low. So again, I keep the protein a little moderate, get a little more fat in right before I do squats, and then I can always protein load heavier afterwards. So the main thing is not overfilling my stomach. So I need to keep the food volumes low. Got to be careful of the fruit and stuff, at least for now, while I'm still getting used to these high rep squats. And I think particularly doing all of it beltless. But in terms of the workload today, did 3 sets of 10 with this weight instead of 2 sets. They all felt good. Obviously, these are not to failure, left a little bit in the tank, but kind of at the point I'm at right now, if I can just for the cut maintain this workload on squats and then maybe see if I can work towards getting, a couple more reps, I'll be perfectly happy with that. Looking at my quads here, I feel like they're actually filling back out off of some muscle memory in spite of being in a calorie deficit. Obviously, and the thing that we have to keep in mind, I have to keep losing body fat. And I almost say this every vlog because it seems like I get people who come in the comments who are newer to my stuff, and then they'll say, oh, that's fat. You lose more weight, that'll go. Quit talking about loose skin. And they don't seem to understand that that's what loose skin is, right? The reason your skin stays loose is that's where you previously had more fat. The skin stays looser when you lose large amounts of body fat, and then the fat adheres to that area. Loose skin is still obviously fat. That's what gives it its volume. Okay, but if you keep losing weight, it will tighten up more and more, right? It will tighten up more and more. That's oftentimes why liposuction is part of those procedures. And of course, I'm not going to do the procedures, and I'm glad people have quit bringing that up because I've explained why. That's insane. But the thing is, I feel like it's going to continue to tighten up as I get leaner. Right, and overall, that's really, once that area tightens up, I'll be in a good place. And at this point, I'm weighing 215 to 216, down from 228. And I feel like as I get closer to 200, that's going to happen. I don't know where it needs to be. That's kind of the thing. It's like I'd said before, let me get down, under 220, then let's start assessing, about how much further I need to go. But it's not that we have an end goal. We need to understand that. It's not that I have an exact number. We don't. We just have to keep assessing it as we go. And when we get there, we get there. But I'm going to get leaner and just try to stay leaner at this point. I never want to be at this point in my life, closing in on 50. I never want to be 220 plus again. It's just not ideal for my long-term health, no matter how strong I get doing it. It's simply not worth it to me. So we're going to keep focusing on this. And so again, these movements, I'm trying to be very efficient with the lower body, trying to look at what's going to give me the most muscle growth where I need it. And then obviously we're doing a little bit of weak point training at the end. And for me right now, I feel like the Olympic squats like that, doing them deep. Obviously I'm doing everything beltless. And then Romanian deadlifts, right? I feel like I get a really good stimulus out of RDLs personally. I feel a lot of hamstring. Actually, I feel a lot of just lower body in general. I feel like they work my back effectively. Okay. But I do feel like I get that good stretch in the hamstrings. And it's kind of a big deal for me. And I do feel quads on them also, interestingly enough. But right now, it's all barbell and body weight stuff, just for now. I don't even feel like doing the reverse hyper. I'm wanting to just keep stuff super basic. I want to keep it super basic. And again, it's to show that we can get complete development, at least close to, with just barbells and body weight stuff if we need to. Now, obviously, I do a little bit of dumbbells and other things for the upper body, but everything is pretty much free weight at this point, right? Because I think that that's all that we really need. And it's not to say different tools can't be useful in our toolbox. It's just that I think that it's possible for us to maximize development with those tools. Just combinations of, free weight, body weight movements. Of course, there in that shot, you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about with where the last body fat pulls in the loose skin, and that's okay. That will tighten up as I continue to lose weight. All right, doing calves, and this has come up too. I guess I need to address this again because the comments, someone has said, why are you training calves now? Your calves are massive, they're ripped. Why do you need to train them? For the simple purpose of, if we're going to talk about having a look, developing everything is a good idea. But what about fat loss? What about metabolism? Yeah, my calves are big and ripped, and I have a lot of calf muscle without really direct calf work, because I've only been doing it a couple weeks. But if my goal is to keep my energy turnover as high as possible, shouldn't we be building all the muscles of the lower body? Right? We should be spending time building all of it. It'll increase your calorie burn. It will improve your insulin sensitivity. It'll improve your health markers. Build your lower body. Like if you're chasing to get lean, why wouldn't you want big calves? You will burn more calories just walking around if you put an inch of meat onto your calves from wherever they are, no matter where they are. Okay? It makes sense. It's a valuable tool. It's a valuable tool. So that's why I'm doing it. I almost feel like with these, because of a little bit of the balance issue, I almost wonder if I should drop a little bit of weight off here and just take the reps up so I can get better ranges of motion and contractions on these. Because I'm doing this with 225, but I do feel like just kind of the positioning, it's a little hard to balance, right? But I still feel a tremendous stimulus in my calves doing this, even the way I'm doing them. And that's what matters at the end of the day, right? That's what matters at the end of the day. And, we'll just see what happens with them. So again, after the squats, the RDLs, I did 3 sets of the standing calf raises, just 2 sets of 10. And then we finished up with supersets of glute ham raises and hanging leg raises. So that's the other point too. One of the reasons I've realized my forearm work, I'm just going to stick with hammer curls for extra forearm work, because I'm getting so much grip training, right? I'm doing the RDLs without straps. I'm doing my hanging leg raises, weighing 215 with then throwing my shoes on and everything hanging from the bar. Every day is grip day, right? Because we do pull-ups and rows on upper body day, and then we're doing the hammer curls. It's a lot of forearm work. Then I'm having all this grip training and forearm training on the lower day. Like my grip and forearms are just getting worked all the time. And they feel pumped all the time. I'm noticing that too with what I'm doing right now, because I'm doing everything, with having to use my grip. And the same thing, I'm doing all my pressing without wrist wraps. I'm having to squeeze the bar harder. My forearms feel pumped all the time. Like, even later in the day, I lay down to go to bed, my forearms still have a pump right now. I think they're getting plenty of work. So I think the hammer curls were a nice addition. Especially I did them yesterday, and then I noticed even this morning, my whole radial brachialis was feeling almost a little crampy on both arms, even when I woke up. So I think that's might be the way to go, right? Might be the way to go. But again, we just keep working on the cut, and that's the other thing too. I don't need to use a whole lot of weight at this point. As long as I'm building muscle, getting quality range of motion, quality volume in, I'm going to get bigger. I'll gain muscle. No, not necessarily during the duration of the cut, but over time. And then again, if I need to get my big lifts back up, I just go in and practice some singles later and get the technique back down. Big lifts will be right back to a good level, as long as we have the lean tissue to support it. So I'm not worried about it. So again, I made a video on that also this week, explaining why I'm not doing the heavy work, purely for adherence to my diet. Purely adherence to my diet. All right? So we're just going to keep moving forward with it. So really for today, what is it for exercises? Olympic squats, Romanian deadlifts, standing calf raises. Those are my barbell movements. And we do glute ham raises and hanging leg raises for my body weight exercises. All right. getting good, sufficient quality volume for everything in my lower body. Plus, we're still getting forearm and grip work on this day, which we know just arms in general, my arms in general are my weak link, and they need to come up. So that's kind of what I've said before. Lose another 3-4 inches off the waist, add an inch to my arms, I'll be good to go. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.